Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and it's time for a positive spin. Today we're going to be talking about the remake of When a Stranger Calls. My history on this film is pretty cool, actually. My daughter went to see this in the movie theater with a bunch of her friends, and this was one of those movies that she really wanted me to watch when it came out on home video. So I remember renting it and actually really enjoying it because, of course, she had never seen the original When a Stranger Calls, and I had. And that first 15, 20 minutes of the original is just unbelievable. When I watched this one, I realized that that first 15 or 20 minutes now is lasting for an hour and I think it's an hour and 24 minutes. Might be an hour and 27. Can't remember. But and I just thought that that was a really cool way to do things. Not that I don't like the original When a Stranger Calls. I do. I think they go in a different direction than a lot of slasher films. And I like that direction because it does explain about the killer and this, that, and the other thing. And it shows him getting beaten down when he's released. But this one takes what was so great about the first one and makes it for the entire film. And I think that's what a lot of people wanted in the original When a Stranger Calls because a lot of people feel like they kind of blew their load too quick on the actual beginning of the film. But this one takes its time and ramps up the suspense and the anxiety and all the stuff that comes with that about being alone in a house and babysitting kids. So let's put a positive spin on When a Stranger Calls, 2006. I like the every neighborhood in the beginning because what you see in the beginning is a carnival and there's a house on the outside and you see this killer or you're it's kind of implied that it's the same killer that kills somebody in the beginning. And there's a carnival, and I'm always down for a carnival. I love carnivals. Anything with a carnival setting or amusement parks or anything like that, I'm definitely there. So I think that's really cool. I love the editing during the kill in the first one because it's while they're not showing anything, they make it to where it's more suspenseful and more anxiety driven. And I think that's neat. Now, this is definitely a timestamp. This girl is grounded because she wants to go to a school party. Now, we don't give synopsises, but this is kind of a part of the film that I like and that definitely speaks of its time period. So the girl has this boyfriend, and the boyfriend cheats on her with her friend, and she has a cell phone, and she goes over her minutes by, I think, like 300 minutes. And it costs her parents a fortune. And to me, that's pretty interesting because that's where we were at the time. And that's why I think the timestamp kind of fits. And I think that's pretty cool. The house is huge, and it's a huge positive, especially the aviary. Um, and that's the place in the middle with the birds and the fish and all that kind of stuff. The house is absolutely gorgeous. It almost acts as a character on its own. It's right by the water, and you get the fog off the water, and it's very atmospheric, and it kind of sets a very ominous mood on its own. Katie Cassidy is very pretty, and Joe actually noticed something when we were watching this. And it seems like people don't like remakes that feature Katie Cassidy because you have the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, and of course, When a Stranger Calls. And there's probably more, but just kind of seems like a weird coincidence because there's actually not that many people in this film. The cast is fairly low. The big party is pretty cool. It's almost like a Burning Man, what they're trying to recreate. This movie is extremely suspenseful, like I said before. It doesn't rely on kills or blood or gore. It kind of relies on you being alone in that house and giving you that feeling of anxiety and being in a strange house where you're not familiar with how things work. You have an alarm system that they've given you the code to, and it goes off. And there's a lot of bells and whistles to this house that kind of throws not only the girl who's babysitting, but it also throws the viewer off because you're not sure if something's actually happening at that moment or if it's, the killer. The scene with the killer in the rafters is awesome. That would be a really cool poster when she's looking up and he's looking down at her through the rafters. That's absolutely, in my opinion, that's nightmare fuel right there. I like the look of the killer. And one thing that Joe told me when we were talking that I actually didn't know was that the voice on the phone is actually Lance Hendrickson. But I guess he didn't fit the role of the killer. They used somebody else as the killer. And it's pretty effective. The part in the aviary where she's trying to get away and the kids are in there is very suspenseful and also really cool because she's underneath of the walk bridge, the wooden walk bridge. It's pretty cool. And as I said before, the killer is extremely creepy looking. Now, this is my main problem with this film. Whenever someone talks about the original, um, When a Stranger Calls, they always talk about the first 15 minutes being a masterpiece. And then most people kind of just go away from it and just say that that first 15 minutes is what really gets you. And then it kind of goes downhill from there. Well, as I said before, they kind of took what everybody said and everybody wanted and made this film. And I don't understand why it gets the hate it gets. Um, I've always liked it. Like I said, I wasn't sure what to expect because my daughter really doesn't like horror films. But, I think if she was at that age where she wanted to go with friends and they wanted to go see it, so she did it too. And when she wanted me to watch it, I was like, I don't know about this. But I actually really like this film. I I actually I prefer this to the original. Yeah. Give this one another shot or don't. But don't forget to check out Joe's positive spin on When a Stranger Calls. Remember, guys, physical media matters. And until next time, peace.